For those of you who have been following me regularly on my blog or like to pop in occasionally and check out my YouTube channel, today's book review, Please Explain Terrorism to Me, is by far one of the most important books that I have ever reviewed, and I really, really want to take time with this and kind of show you why it's important. So let's open it up and check it out. The first thing this book does is gives an introduction to parents, and that is really important because unfortunately we live in a world, no matter where you're from, there's so many terrorist attacks both on small scale, large scales, and you should know how to talk with your kids, and this is it's just a quick guide to kind of help you as a parent understand. And if you want more information, in the back of the book there are some more tips and resources, just to help you as a parent, again, help your children through, I would say, reality. Unfortunately, terrorism is part of reality, whether it's experienced in another part of the world, experienced in your hometown. In our world, many people know people from all over the world, so it's very important. The book starts off, and I totally love this, with an explanation on terrorism, a little bit of history and where it comes from, kind of open-ended, and it's factual. Factual, this is terrorism, and you can choose to start your kids off with an introduction. I recommend it, but again, you know your kids, so do what's best, and then after that, it's cute, the story begins. And the story is, I would say, in-depth on the story. A boy comes home from school, she sees something on the news, breaking alert, terrorist attack. You could see it's a TV with all the, what you would see in your own home, basically, and the mom tries to ignore it, and you have, one page. There's actually a lot of pages on, I love it. It doesn't address terrorism just yet, but how the boy feels. He's in school. Should I tell my teacher? Should I write, an essay to my teacher about it? But you know what? My parents don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's not important. Maybe I'm confused. And the kid is just going through the next few days just totally confused. What did I see on TV? Obviously, at this point, he doesn't know it's terrorism. He knows that he has a friend he doesn't like, which he kind of correlates slightly to the news. But you know what? Whatever he saw on that screen made an impact on him, and he doesn't give the bully what he wants. Let's move on. Let's just, keep living life. And the illustrations are really cute. And again, the boy's just moving on, as you can see how long the story is. And throughout the story, it's a really interesting story. So right here, it's very captivating for the kids. But as the kids, or you as a parent, are reading the storyline to your kids, depending on their age level, it keeps referring to the feelings that this boy has. Lost, alone, confused, frightened, but he doesn't know who to talk with. Then in school it gets even creepier. They have lockdown drills and evacuation drills, and he's starting to make a connection that maybe this has to do with something, but again, he's just not sure. Then finally, and this is the best part, so you have all of these pages of just storyline helping the kids kind of, ease into the situation. And then it talks, the parents sit down with the boy and they talk to him. This is what terrorism is. This is what's going on in the world. And my favorite part is the explanation that it says, it refers to some people want to make their points clear, and so they'll break the law or do something to prove that they're right over others. So the explanation is simple, and I love that the explanation is simple, and for various reasons. The first reason I love it simple because every child, no matter where they're living, will be exposed to different forms of terrorism, whether on TV or in person. So by keeping it simple, you as a parent get to explain to the kids what terrorism means based on what they're exposed to. So that is really nice. And the kid, after the parents explain, and he's still confused. And my favorite part of the book is the ending. Let's just skip to the ending. I really, really love how the father just tells the boy that bullies can also be terrorists, and if you ever need help, you can always come to me and talk with me, and I'll help you. And he goes back to his life. He still has a lot of his questions were answered, but it's just a really, really sweet way of dealing with terrorism. And bullies, even though I wouldn't call them terrorists, for a child who, in this case, he does have a friend who's a bully, can really relate. And so this is a really sweet book to kind of unfortunately we do live in a world that has terrorists, and this book kind of explains it in a way that children will understand. And like I said, it goes through the story of how confused the child will feel and how he should or would possibly react. And this is one of my favorite pages, and this is something that if you are reading it to a classroom, stop here. Read the beginning of the book and talk to the kids, but stop here and do a unit study of community helpers, because some kids think that terrorists, like, that's it, they're evil, they're bad, and those dramatic kids in your classrooms, you have maybe dramatic, kids yourself, and this is kind of just helps them that, what, even though terrorists are bad, and maybe policemen could be terrorists, but how many policemen and good deeds do you know? Take a trip to the police station, to the fire station, visit a medic or something, just to show the kids that there are good people in this world. And again, unfortunately we do live in a world that has terrorists, and this is just a really, really great book to kind of introduce that topic. So Please Explain Terrorism to me is the most important book that I have to date in our library. Not only is it important, amazing to read, I am doing a giveaway on this book. So after you see this video, I'm just going to make a few suggestions. Number one, pick this up for your homeschool, pick this up for your classroom, pick this up from your home. Kids really, really should read this book, especially in the generation we live in. So I'm going to leave the affiliate purchase link to that in the comment box below. The next thing you're going to see, I'm going to make a blog post. I'm going to leave all the, more details in the blog post, some great ideas, and just some things to kind of help you and your kids with terrorism. And I'm going to leave the link to that below, and attached to the blog is going to be a giveaway. So I strongly suggest, if you do not win this giveaway, come back to this video, come back to the blog post, and definitely pick up your copy of Please Explain Terrorism to me. It is such an important book, and kids need to know. As you could see through this book, the poor boy is always confused, and kids just need explanations on their own level. And this book is a basic way. I call it a starter. Start the kids off with this book and lead to wherever they lead, their questions and answers. And so Please Explain Terrorism to me is definitely a great book. Happy reading.